Social energy. There are many people that have little knowledge of it and what it could mean. To me, it counts as a social motion in a conversation. When you talk, implications are made regardless, so make sure that you imply the right motion. In a conversation, many act upon energy and motion without thinking critically. They tend to act accordingly, and after they question what they did wrong. There's not too much time to think in conversation, but I can help you with what to keep in mind here in this video. Social energy must be brought with caution because it can do harm and start different pathways of motion. Let's say you were sitting on a bus on your way somewhere and then someone tells you "hi" a little too loud, and it startles you, maybe uncomfortably. You have to keep in mind that there might be a chance that he didn't mean to say it that loud or startle you. People are very self-conscious, and there are certain motion locks I want to mention later. So after he says "hi" loudly, motion is started. If that motion is unresolved, things are bound to reach for closure. Either he says something to close it, or you say something to close it, or someone else. It is resolved somehow. Energy is the focus here. It will become clear later in this video what I mean and how important it is. So how you start a conversation is usually important, unless you know how to pick yourself up. I personally excuse all those who say things loudly or may seem disturbing, because I have studied this for far too long. I feel sympathetic for those who have a characteristic or personality that is bound to seem disturbing. Inside, they probably just want out of it. Remember, people are very self-conscious, even when they don't seem like it. That's where social locks come in. When people are stuck in character and/or are compelled to think or act a certain way according to their appearance, I call that a person who is stuck or in a social lock. One example I could think of is, let's say, someone who seems ghetto or a thug, who is a loudmouth. Let's say you're waiting in a line somewhere and he's a few people ahead of you. Motion is calm. Then some people start to notice him. Once he's aware that he is being noticed for his bold fashion, he will try to start an uncomfortable motion. So out of the comfort, you hear him shout something, resembling disturbance or rebellion. Then he gets more attention. And that motion, once again, has to be resolved. Either him, someone else, you, or security. Usually I either give him a look to check out what's going on, or I ignore him. Both can have consequences, but both are the safest way to ease down the motion. Don't ever confront him unless you feel he is about to cause harm to somebody or has already done so. The first choice, the easy glance, is safe because it is expected of anybody with respect to execute. I've done this many times and usually motion dies down. If you ignore him, it's good too. There are chances that it implies fear in you and he may be compelled to peck on you at a given chance. But it's the safe haven for all those who are new to this. But I recommend at least give a quick glance, not to imply that you are about to say something, but just to look and see what's going on. It's not rude to look and then look away. Remember that and you will be safe. That's just how to deal with the situation. But the main focus here is energy, and in this situation, social locks. Now let's say he causes bad motion, but if you look very carefully, he was only compelled to do it. Let's say that if people noticed him and gave him attention, he didn't cause any emotion after. Many do this if you're lucky, but in some cases it is very difficult, maybe even embarrassing for him. Can you see why? His characteristic and appearance implies that he is ghetto and disturbing. And if he causes no disturbance, I'm trying to get a point across, not the exact situation would ever happen, but just try to see where I'm getting at. He's compelled to act like how he does or it would become awkward. He's locked in that characteristic, and he knows it. That is why I feel sympathetic for people like him. It's because mostly they don't even want to act that way. Remember that people are self-conscious. The point here is to understand energy and social locks. I'm here to make it clear for you so that you can understand when the time is right. Once you understand, you will become confident in these situations. There's no real need to argue, so just make sure in the situation that he doesn't do anything, that's all. I used to have an experience during detention after school back in high school. Everybody is told to be quiet and not mess around, but you know somebody is itching to make a sound. Why? Do you honestly think it's because he is bored? The answer should be no. It's what he's compelled to do if someone were to look at him, or it would make them feel weak if you didn't do or say anything. This is a problem that applies everywhere, and I see it fail so many times. Something stupid is bound to happen to those who can't control energy and have no understanding of what it is. I'm here to teach you, so forgive all who are weak in this area, even people that might seem disturbing. They want out as much as you do, trust it. Social locks are very sad, and so I'm hoping I could get my message across out to anybody and as much people as I can reach. I feel that this type of problem should be a norm and understanding. It should be normal to at least understand this kind of thing. Since this is the basic foundation element of all my subjects, it will be important to first understand energy and social locks before you can understand my other subjects. I can't go into full detail about how to specifically deal with any situation in this video, but I will show you my other videos. Let's go back to social energy. The goal here is to make sure that no one gets out of control or lead anywhere you think may be bad. Since many react upon energy without thinking, it's important to guide those who do so. Let's say you are chatting with a friend somewhere. It's a nice, easy-going conversation. Then your friend slips up somehow, maybe teasing you or calling you names with a little more energy that was uncomfortable. How would you pick him up? It's your turn to respond since he's just made a move he probably did on accident. Maybe you would laugh it off to resolve the flow. That's perfect. The main key is to resolve energy and not let it build or become awkward. When anybody would get into arguments or slip off, it's usually because things are awkward. Unresolved energy. Let's say you didn't laugh. Your friend might say, "Dude, I was kidding," or "Sorry." Well, that's what I hope would happen anyways. Energy turns a little funny, and if you want to pick it up, you would have to help them resolve it. I will explain how to deal with things if your friend ever turns on you with an angry fashion on another video, but for now you get the point. Energy is important to pay attention to. If someone starts off with high energy and you respond with low energy, how do you think it would resolve? The next time you conversate with somebody, I want you to pay close attention to energy and locks. Remember that energy is the motion, and locks are what people are compelled to do if they're stuck. Locks can be dangerous, so make sure that if you feel someone is in a lock and they are compelled to express high energy, that you would help them find a way for him and to resolve it carefully and find a different way to distract him. Try to cover them and watch them carefully, but not with worry. If they see that you are worried, they will catapult their energy. Another mess to pick up. So I guess that's all for today. Remember to pay close attention to energy and locks, and excuse anybody who doesn't understand. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and see you next time.